Hello everyone, good evening. It's Julie Edwards and welcome back to my channel at Craft So Cute. And I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be playing around with some paper bags, and I'm sure there's I know there is lots of paper bag journal making tutorials out there, but I wanted to share with you with the beginners who are just starting out in the junk journaling community crafting world, that not to stress out over not having lots of supplies, that you can certainly start off here making a journal at this jumping off point. And also like I picked this up, I think for, it's a 50 bag giant lunch bags, I think for, I don't know, $2 at Walmart, and it could have been less than that. But the ones that I'm working on today is 6 1/8 by 12 3/8 inch. So it's 6 1/8 by 12 3/8 inch long. And we're going to use every bit of the paper bag. Only just maybe a tiny bit will be left in like scraps, but those can be used in journals and your collage making. I mean, there's going to be like thin strips. If you want to see any of that scrap busting process videos, go to Corey Dunham's YouTube channel, Corey Dunham, and she uses up all these little scrappy bits. And so if you want to save them, you can go ahead and use them to decorate tags and or use them as collage pieces. So anyway, today we're going to need 6 of these bags. Okay, so I'm going to take out 6. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 lunch bags, okay? So 50 of these. So imagine you can make, you know, several journals out of these, okay? So I'm going to set this aside. That's the giant lunch bag. See, great value at Walmart. Okay. And so with these bags, I'm going to show you what we're going to make. This is right here, craft cardboard. Let me see, where did I put it? I need to show you. Okay. And this is what I got. I purchased at Walmart. This was only $5 for 50 sheets of this craft smooth cardstock. They are 8.5 by 11. Okay, 50 sheets, 210 GSM, so it's 78-pound weight. Okay, and let me get that up closer. Okay, and so I used 2 of these. I used 2, and then I had some little scrappy bits left over, which I would use, of course, naturally for tags. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And this is what I put together, and this is what we'll make today. Okay, this one is ready for me to start decorating, but I wanted to show you what this journal is going to look like. Okay, this journal measures 6 2/8 by 8 inches. Okay, set this right over here. Okay, now when I'm opening this up, this is going to be, and I'm going to make like put little ring cutouts. Let's see, where did I put those today? I think I put them in here. I'm saving all these little, I don't know why I'm saving all these little cardstock punchy thingies out, maybe for confetti, or do like some sort of a confetti window, for lack of better words. But these little things, what I do is I stack like 4 or 5 of them together and make these little button thingies, and then you can tie them with string. So I may end up using that as a closure. Not sure. Okay. Now. Okay. So this is the journal. So to open this up, I have this right here, and this is going to be pockets right in here. Okay, I've got these like paper clipped in, but I don't have them quite attached yet. But these right here are these bits that we're going to cut off. So we're not going to waste any of this. We're going to use this and turn these into pockets. Okay, so that's what that is. And so when you open up your journal, and this is going to be for like holding ephemera pieces for your journal. Okay, and then once we open this up, let me see, how did I do this? Oh yes, this won't be attached to this, but when you open this, okay, let me start all over. You open this up, and this will flip down, and this will be your like a little ephemera. This I'm probably going to make a pocket in here to put something else in here, a tuck spot. But this, let's see, how many do I have here? One, two, three. I have 3, so they're going to have 3 expandable pockets, because I didn't cut these gussets out. These gussets right here, I didn't cut this out, so they'll be able to expand to open. You'll be able to put a lot of things in it. And then this will flip over, okay, like this. And of course this will be covered. And then the journal is going to flip up this way, okay? So our journaling is going to be like this. This is how we'll journal. Let me just remove these. And this is what this is going to be. And then we'll be decorating these pages, because this paper bag is pretty thin, okay? It's almost the same feel as that painter's paper that I showed in one of my previous videos. So the journal will open up like this. So instead of this way, I mean, you can turn it this way, but my journal idea is to be able to journal like this, okay? To do the journaling like that, and then you flip it open. Here's the second page. This will be another page here, and then this part will be let me get a piece of paper here real quick. Oh, what did I do with it? Okay. Let me get one piece of card. My little scrap. Okay. So when we're flipping through our pages, after the second page is flipped, this is going to be a pocket for you to put stuff in. Right here, a pocket. Okay. And then we'll flip this page over like so. And there's another journaling spot. It'll be like a long journaling page. And that journaling page is probably going to be almost 12 inches in height. Here. Okay. And then so you just keep turning it over, flipping it over. And then after the second page is flipped over, here's another pocket. Okay. All right. Oh, goodness. It's difficult to share this when this is not sewn in. And then you flip this over, and there's another 12-inch. It's a 12-inch in length by 8 inches. I think it's about 8 inches. Yep. In width. And this is how you journal. You know, you're journaling like that. So, and then, you know, you just keep on flipping. and they'll all be decorated. And here's another pocket, so we're not wasting any of the paper bag. Okay, because all of it's going to be used. And then you flip it over, and then you flip it over. Okay, so once this right here, let me show you. Let me get that all lined back. So this is the way the journal is, okay? But the way this is going to be, these are going to be glued, okay, to each other. And then when we open up, there's going to be like the center, wherever the center of the signature is, it's going to be sewn in, okay? We'll sew this in. I'm hoping that this makes sense. It should make sense. But here's our journal. When we get the signature, it will be sewn. It'll be sewn here. Let me get that. Let me open it up. Okay. Let's get this right here. So it'll be sewn in. So I'll probably do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then this will be this flip journal. Okay, let me straighten this out. It is difficult to share this piece without it being sewn in, but I can't sew it in because we've got to decorate all these pages, okay? So here, the journal, you can also, when you open this up, and this flaps, the pockets, this flaps open, this will be a pocket, a decorative pocket in here, or some sort of window. I might do a window feature. Where did I put those? Let me get one of this out here real quick. Let me find that envelope. Okay, here's one. So it might look something like this, having a window feature. I don't want to completely fold it because I'm not sure, but here's one of those big mailers, okay, that I shared in my a video that's going to premiere on the 28th, because that's my Monday mailers. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I can fold this. So it's going to look like this once it's flipped down. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and let's just fold this over because we're just going to end up using it, okay? Let me just, since I'm already, that way I'll show you. So this will be a window feature, like so, okay? And then we'll have something that'll slide into in this way, okay? And this is a mailer now, so don't throw any of your mailers away. So here we are with this journal, okay? It starts off like this, and you open it up and you bring this flap down, okay? You bring this flap down, and then you can, these are going to be pockets. These will be expandable pockets to keep ephemera pieces in, okay? And then when this flips over like this, your pockets, then you can open up your journal this way and start journaling like this. Opening up your page, and you can have these big space to journal in, okay? So we'll be decorating this, and this will be a pocket right here. This will be a pocket, let's see, right in here, and then you flip this page over. See, so you've got a beautiful full page. So now this becomes 12 by 8 inches, okay? And then that way, you know, and then turn over that page, and then we got another tuck spot for here, okay? So this is what we're going to make, and then you just close it up, right? Closing up your journal, okay? Flip this back over. Well, this will be attached. This window would be attached, okay? And then you just close it up. Do your closure. So this is what we're going to make right now, okay? So let's go ahead and, do we want to do the cover first? sure. Let's do the cover first, okay? I'm putting those bags away. So let me take this out. Okay. Okay, so our journal, here's the journal, the interior of the journal. So the journal is, let me show you. Let's move this out of the way. The journal is almost, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches. Okay, remember the total bag, the whole complete bag. And I'll show you, this is the scrappy bits that's only going to be left, okay? I mean, like teeny scraps. This right here is 12 3/8, okay? Come back here. Well, actually, 12 2/8, but the bag says 12 3/8. So this is 12 3/8, and I cut this down. I took this part off, okay? This little thing with the lunch bag, how the lunch bag comes. Now you can keep this. You can use the whole thing, you know. You can just lay your paper down and then just open this up when you decorate it, and then just use your hole punch to notch that out. But I didn't have hole punches when I started out, okay? So I'm working this journal and creating in such a way that I don't have those things, the hole punch, okay? So I took the whole bag. Get some of these pages out of the way. Took the whole bag, okay, and I cut it down to exactly 12 inches. This whole bag. So I took essentially like 2/8 of an inch off. I just cut that little divot off, okay? All right. Let me remove these. Let me get these out of the way. Okay. Here was the bag, okay? So I'm going to set that aside and get our main bag. My table thingy mat is warped, so it's super hard. I have to put duct tape underneath this because the tape that I have underneath here keeps lifting, so I'm going to have to use a stronger tape. So here is the 12 2/8 bag, okay? So primarily what I do is take this and I want to cut this off, okay? I want to cut this little torn piece off. So pretty much going to go right to the end of it. I'm going to butt it right to that end. And that's about 2/8 of an inch. Where's the 2/8 of an inch? Yep, 2/8 of an inch. And just, if you don't have a rotary cutter, just take your pencil, draw a line, okay, and then just cut it out with your scissors. Now this piece here, I think that's, yeah, 2/8 of an inch is a 1/2 an inch, okay? 2/8 of an inch is a 1/2 an inch. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, this is, yeah, well, actually, this would be, yeah, 1, 2. Actually, it's 4/8 of an inch, which is equals out to a 1/2 an inch. And this is the waist, but Corey Dunham saves all these little scrappy bits, so don't throw them away. Go to her channel and she shows you some awesome things that she makes from her scraps. My phone's about to ring. Hang on. Okay. Now that we've cut this end off, we want to fold this over. Okay. But right through here, right here, if you see, from the edge of this right here, I went 1/8 of an inch over, if you could see that, and I went, and then I folded it. Okay, so we want to, this is going to be the size of the journal. Okay, so this turns out to be, let's see, why is that shorter than, oh no, that's about right. Where's my journal? Where is it at? Where'd it go? Oh. Let's see. I'm going to fold this over. And that should be about the same size. Okay, this bag is obviously was a little bit bigger. This bag here. They're not all created equal, okay? But you see that I took one bag and I folded this over, okay? So here's where we're at. Let me see if I can zoom you in. Alright, what's going on with my computer here? Here we are. Okay. So right here, from the edge of this, I went over about 1/8 of an inch and then folded it over, okay? So now this is the size of our bag, okay? If you just follow this along, once we've made everything, then we can take measurements to make our cover, okay? So, but I want you to take this part right here. If you see, when you open it up, when you open up the bag, here's that bottom part, okay? We're going to take a sliver off at the edge of this. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, so that it's done. I mean, just a sliver, just to open it up, okay? And I'll let you know why. Okay, so just a sliver. Now it's open. Okay, oops, it's open. Alright, so there we are. We got that. And then, here's our, do I need to zoom you back out so you can see this? Hope you guys can hear me. I'm concentrating, so when I concentrate, I find that my voice starts to go muted. It gets lower and lower. So sorry about that if haven't been speaking very loudly. Now, from here at this point, right here, see this? I want to bring this gusset out, okay? So what I've done was I've taken my scissor and I actually open it up and see where that is. Now I carefully cut along that crease line. A lot of people would go a lot quicker and just take, if you can see, I'm cutting that, okay? I'm just cutting that open. But a lot of people will just go ahead and take this. Let me just show you. Yep. A tiny little sliver, okay? Itty bitty little sliver. Just sliver. Just to open it up, okay? Like that. See, and then that is open, right? Almost. So, that's the only kind of downfall when you're trying to take off a sliver. You might miss some of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish cutting that off right there with the scissor. If I can follow that line. I guess my scissor is just way too big for this. Probably should have used a thinner scissor. But I find that these scissors, my husband, see? See what I'm doing? I'm already cutting it crooked. And that's why people, I'm assuming that people just take a sliver so they don't create this little mess, but that's okay. Okay, it's a little imperfect, but that'll get covered up because we're going to decorate this, so that will never be shown. This little oopsie daisy right there, see right there, this will get covered. So now we want to remove this gusset, right? So I'm just going to come in here and see, you see where we had this little line, 1/8 line? I'm just going to take that off right there. Wait a minute, no, I'm not going to take that off. I'm so sorry, you guys. Here we go. It's this right here. We're going to cut that. When we folded this, okay, you can see that there is a fold line right in here. Right along here where my right thumb is, right there. I'm going to take that and follow my scissor, follow that line and use it to cut this gusset out, okay? I'm just going to follow along these little lines. I just want this middle gusset to come out. Like so. Okay? Then, well, I guess I just, see this here? This is not going to go to waste, because you'll use these to make pockets and tucks and things like that. We're going to use all of this. Okay, so save these and set that aside. And then I'm going to cut where this line is. I'm going to cut that, because that's going to be an open page along the line of our fold. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. Okay, so now we have this. Remember when we opened it up and flipped it open? Now we've got this here. Okay, and in the back here we've got another little pocket right here. This is going to be about the back of the page. Okay, now we've got this inside pocket, because remember, we're going to have a bunch of other pages that's going to have this pocket feature. Okay, so now we want to get our other bags, our 5 other bags. Here's our 5 other bags. Set this aside. I think I better cut one of these one at a time, because not all of these bags are created equal. Okay, they're not going to be measured out the same. So what I want to do is I want to remove, we're going to remove all these little, these things right here. Okay, get my ruler, line that up, trying to get it as straight as possible. Now again, if you don't have a rotary cutter, make a line on the paper bag and then just cut it off with your scissors. Okay, and don't throw those away, because I'm going to try and do one of those little scrappy, what you call it, the scrappy, using up scraps by Corey Dunham. Okay, and then let's see, I'm gonna measure, see, so that's about 1/8. Okay, so from this right here, this ledge, I'm going to go over about 1/8 of an inch, just about 1/8 of an inch. And again, this is what you can do. Okay, go over 1/8 of an inch. Draw your pencil line and then just cut it out. Okay. There we go. Set these aside. We're not getting rid of those because we will be using these right here. Okay, and so now, see, that should be even, Steven. Okay, and we can trim up these and make sure that we're even Steven, right? It's going to be right here. So see, if I'm lining up this one that we just cut to the bottom of this sheet, because remember, we need that 1/8 of an inch gap so that this will fold. Okay, if we didn't, then this right here center will get pretty bulky. It'll get in the way and start bending this page. So what we're going to do is later, after we've cut these all out, then we'll line it up to the bottom of this sheet right here. Line it up. And then we're going to turn it over, and you'll see that there's just like a little sliver that we need to cut and trim, you know. Is it completely necessary? No, because we're going to be covering it, right? So now, there's one. Line this up. So the rotary cutter that I have is, I purchased this at Walmart years ago. Oh, there's that phone again. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So while I was on the phone with my daughter, she had called because this was her second day working at manufacturing car plant called Voigtstepin. It's German, Voigtstepin. I think that's how you'd say it in my German accent. Voigtstepin? Voigtstepin. A Voigtstepin. Okay, that's my imitation, my version of sounding like I'm German. Okay, so now, remember, we did this bag. We cut this open, right? And then I showed you that we took another bag, because while I was off camera and talking to my daughter, I just went ahead and cut them all. I took the whole bag and I cut them, okay? We're keeping these because these are our pockets. So I cut them down. I cut all of this, the little loopy thing down, and cut this off, okay? So now what I want to do, I'm going to move this away. So I have 5 of these, okay? We're going to now take all 5 of them, okay, and just pull one out. My craft desk. Oh, okay. I'm going to take this. Remember, we cut all those little edges off, right? So we're going to open it up like this. And then we're going to just bring that out. Bring that gusset out. Okay. Just like so. And then, I don't know about you guys, but I don't cut straight. So we're going to cut this off, because here's our gussets and we're going to be using these, okay? So line up your paper to the mat, whatever your cutting mat. If you don't have a cutting mat, then use your ruler and just slice that up. I don't know what you have for underneath to protect your workspace, but anyway, you want to slice that off, okay? I am not very good at, I'm going to cut it right up against that crease line, okay? Because they have that crease line. We're going to cut right up against it, okay? So there, it takes care of one. Get another one. Open up your bag. bring this out, okay, and cut along that crease line, okay. Now I can cut it, but it isn't going to be as straight as I want it to be. But this is, if you don't have a cutting mat, take out your scissors and try and follow along that line. See, like what I'm doing here? I don't cut straight enough, but it works. It still works. Okay, so there you go. So I'm cutting all of these. I'll be right back. Okay, we've got these little edges cut down. Okay, and now what I want you to do is to take all 5. This is what we're going to do. I'm holding this open, and I'm going to open up this gusset. Oops, so sorry. Didn't mean to do that in your face. So we're going to just open them up. Okay, straighten it out, and we're going to fold this over. Okay, and then we're going to do that all to all 5. Here's the cut edge. I'm holding it. I'm sure there's a lot faster way. I know there was a quicker way of doing this. Okay. You know, like I could have opened up the gussets all the way to a full page and then trimmed it off and then just folded it. I know. I could have done that, but I didn't. Okay, so let's open these up. Yay, yay, yay. So, for those, you know, that are a beginner in doing this, this is the least expensive way to start getting into journaling if you can't buy all of the paper and stuff. Now, copy paper is inexpensive. It's like $3 something for a ream at Walmart. Like I said, the craft card is $5 for 50 sheets, which I think is an excellent price considering that it's craft card. Okay, so we have that open, and this is the last one. Okay, and then we fold this over, and voila, we've got our pages. Okay, now here's our journal. Okay, here's our journal. We got our first tuck spot, and then we're going to see where all the folded edges are, the folded ones. We're going to stack it up like this and go on this side. Is that the gusset side? Yes. And we're going to just lay this up on top. Okay, like so. Because now my journal, this is the journal. Okay, this is the first pocket up here that we've cut open. Okay, then it'll flip open. Remember? Let me zoom you out so you can see. Here's our journal. Okay. We got this folded in. Okay. This is our journal. The one that I made, that I showed you. Flip it open. Okay. Then we have this first page, second page, and then a tuck spot. Then we flip that over, full page, flip the second page, and then you got another tuck spot. Okay, and so on and so forth. Flip the pages, you got another tuck spot, and you keep on going, and then it gets to the very last page. Okay, because remember, and then this will be attached to this, and then you open up that page, and here's the last tuck spot. Okay, now since we've got all of that done, we want to make sure, just bring all of these papers down like this. We're going to square everything off. We want to take the edge over this and then line it to that last page. Okay, then you want to turn it over And then you got all these little, tiny little edge. Here, let me zoom you in. You just got this little bit that we need to sliver off. Because, like I said, not all bags are created equal. So, they're not going to be exactly the same because these bags are just, you know, mass produced, okay? So let's go ahead and, wait, this way. Because here's our little pocket thingies. Okay, so we want to try and level that up really good. And then we're going to take that, level it to this last page. And you can take your, whatever clips that you're using, like that, to hold it all in place, and then turn it over. And then you can take your scissors and start cutting all of these off, right? Since a lot of you may not have, let me make sure this is all lined up. Nope, I certainly moved it. Okay, let me see if paper clipping it I think might be better. Yeah, I think so. Ugh. I'm gonna paper clip this. It's just like this. So I'm going to line it up against that last page. Okay. I know my anal side right now is coming out. Okay. I'm going to flip it over and see how much I need to trim. That's how much I need to trim right there. So, for those that don't have a rotary cutter, I'm just going to go ahead and use my scissors to cut all of that off. There. Okay? Corey Dunham even uses all of these little sliver thingies, okay? But I'm not. I'm going to just toss those because I don't know when I'll... Well, I don't know. I was going to do one of her projects on her channel. Okay, so now all of this is lined up and squared up. You see that? It's straight. Nice and straight, okay? And then what I want to do is for this right here, along this edge, you see how all of this is not squared up? Well, let's just square it up right now. Okay, let me take this off here. So we've got all of this nice and squared off. Okay, so I want to cut all of this off. See where that is? And in my other one, I did cut off about 1/8 of an inch. Let me make sure I keep that all squared and straight. Okay. Okay. Yep. So I am trying to stay in frame here for all of you. I'm going to take off 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And that 1/8 of an inch is right about there. You see that I'm lining up my ruler here and here along that line. And this is about 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Because my hand's not strong enough, I'm going to use my rotary cutter and just cut it all off. See? And now we're square. Okay, take all those little strips off, because you know, Corey Dunham, I think that's her name. For some reason I'm wanting to know, thinking I might be pronouncing her name incorrectly, but if you all know, you can comment down below. See that? So now this is nice and even, okay? And we want to keep this like this because we're going to attach a cardstock, or in this case it's file folder, because remember I made mine out of craft card. But if you want to use file folder, I'm going to go and show you how to use the file folder for this project, okay? And in here I have recorded my measurements, okay? So when I open this up, I start off with two pieces that are 7-inch wide, but that's because I had to cut off the pieces like that because my 8.5 by 11 was not long enough. So I had to use two pieces and combine them, okay? So I figured you can buy these little file folders. It comes in a pack. I'll show you what it looks like. It comes like this from Walmart, just like this. And this is only like $3 and something cents. So this might be even cheaper, and it certainly will go a lot further. Okay, so we're going to use this. So now that we know this is the size of the journal that we're making, will it be the same exact size as this one? No, because some of these bags were a lot smaller. Okay, so this is going to be a lot smaller than this one. So we're going to go ahead and do this from scratch using our, after you've trimmed up everything on your paper bag, okay? Remember that you created 1/8 of an inch because we needed that gap so that this 1/8 of an inch gap right here will be able to open and shut without, you know, bending our pages. So we've got that. So this is the length of our journal. So now we're going to open up this. I'm going to have to zoom you out for this. In my crowded workspace, I'm going to move this because we're going to be using these. Okay. I'm going to use the natural crease line of the file folder for this journal. Oh. Okay, because here's our, this is what this is going to look like, just like that. This is our file folder. We're going to have one solid straight piece, okay? So now we're going to cut this. This is, what was this again? This was 6 2/8, 7-inch. Because we cut that sliver off, remember? We cut off that sliver. And see, not all bags are created equal. But this is our main backing page, right? We're using that. Okay. You see how that folded over? And I did that. So that means I'm going to have to correct that cut right there. But we'll get to that. We can fix all of those later. But let's get this jacket done, okay? So we want about a 6 and I'll measure this side too because, you know, yep, 6 1/8. We're going to cut this at 6 1/8, the width, okay? 6 1/8. So if you have a ruler, if you don't have a mat, let's just use our ruler, okay? Lining up my ruler. I'm going to go 6 1/8. Where's my pencil? Pencil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1/8 is right here. Okay. 6 1/8 right here. 6 1/8 right here. Then I'm going to Draw my line, get my scissor, and cut this off with my scissors. Okay, it's going to be a long video. I'm already 50 minutes into this. The big 5-0. So this, we'll set this aside because we're going to use this. We're not done with that piece. Okay, so now let's tuck this in. Okay, there's the first part of our jacket. Now we need to cut this off, but what I'm doing is going to cut this past this right here, about 1/8. Okay, we're gonna have a 1/8 inch. What would you say? 1/8 what? 1/8 inch gap. Not a gap, but border, the edging of our journal. Okay, so we need, let me count this down. Use this ruler since I'm using it. It is 7. This is almost 7 and 3/4. Let's make sure that we're all squared up. Yep, it's about 7. Well, that's about 7 3/4. Yep, 7 3/4. Okay, so now we want to go 7 3/4. 7 and 1 2. Okay, that's a half, and then right here is 7 3/4, which is 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 6/8. 7 and 6/8, okay, is actually 7 3/4. Okay, so we got that. 7 and 6/8. 3/4. Let's draw that measuring line there. And get one more line up there. That way I know I'm making a straight line. 7 3/4. Line up our little dots. I'm going to cut this down. Scrappy bits, don't you just love it? So we're going to have some great scrappy bits from this cardstock or file folder. Oopsie, I don't cut very straight. Oh, why didn't that? Okay. It's my hands, guys. My hands don't work very well. Okay, so now here's our jacket. Okay, here's our jacket. Okay. So now, with this one right here, we are going to take this and cut it down to this size right here. Right here, this flap. So we're going to cut that down to right there. Okay. So now, that's going to measure. Let's get our ruler. I'm going to pretend that I don't have a cutting mat. 4 inches. Yep, 4 inches. 4 inches. Okay. So, from the edge of the paper, we're going to measure 4 inches. 12, 1, 2, 4 and 1/8. Yeah, let's go 4 and 1/8. because we want just a tiny little edge. Ay, 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 my hands. Four and 1/8. 4 and 1/8. Line up our dots. Make the line. Cut this flap open. I actually think I like using the file folders for this project instead of using the craft card, because I'm wasting a lot of the card craft. And this way, we're not wasting, okay, because we're going to use this now. Okay, so here is our folder. Right here, okay? This is our folder. The folder, right? Right here. See that? Now we're going to make this lip right here, okay? Using our scrap. So, if I'm going to bring this down, I want to see how much of a fold do I want. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay, this folding. So I think I'm going to want, that's going to be about 1 inch. No. So let's go in 1.5 inches this in width, okay? So do you have a scoreboard? Let me take out my small one. If you don't have a scoreboard, okay, let's pretend I don't have a scoreboard. All right, let's pretend that I don't have a scoreboard. We want to go in 1/8 of 1 1/2. No, that's too big. Let's go, nope, let's do 1 inch. 1 inch. One inch. 1 inch. Okay. Let me erase these because we don't need these numbers anymore. If I don't have a scoreboard, and you do have a bone folder, if you don't have a bone folder, you could use a knife, you know, like a butter knife, but on the back side, not the sharp end of the, and just let's just score this part right here. Okay, see? You see? Oh, no, let me scoot you up a bit close. Can you see that? I already created a score line. See that score line? I just matched up, lined up the dots. So you can use your bone folder if you don't have a scoreboard, okay? But because we have a scoreboard, I'm going to use this for the sake of time, for us to get rolling, rolling, rolling. And then from that line, I want to go 1/8 of an inch, making going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, see, so I've got 5 score lines, okay? And I'll tell you why we're doing this. Okay, so let's bring our project over. So now Okay. So when we want this, we want to be able to have an expansion. We're going to line up this first score mark to this edge, right? So we're going to be able to bend this over and have lots of room for our pockets as we build our pockets, okay? But we need to do one more step, which I forgot to mention. Okay, here is our pocket, right? Our pockets are in here. Then our journal opens up this way, right? But as you see, I added a flap, okay? I added this flap, so we need to add that flap, okay? So it looks like I may need to use two. I was hoping that I could, no, this isn't big enough. So we're going to have to use, let me see here. I want to try and use up every bit of this, okay? This is my challenge, but you can get another file folder. Get another file folder and make a flap. So now I need, from this length to this length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 3/4, right? So I need to combine these two right here to make 7 3/4. 7 3/4 width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me zoom you out from what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 3/4, right? It's 7 3/4. I don't want to have to. No, I'm going to scrap this. You know why? Because I'm creating bulk. I don't want to create bulk. See? But if we're wanting to use this, okay, we're going to do this. Hold on, let me get something. Okay, here's my score tape. We're not going to try and create a lot of waste if we don't have to, okay? If we don't. So what I'm going to do is this. Okay, these were my two pieces that I cut right here. Cut that in half. So I'm going to open this up. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you because I'm not going to create, I don't want to create waste, okay, guys? I'm trying to be very frugal with my usage of my materials. So that way, if you're a beginner, you can also, because, you know, as a beginner myself, talking about myself, I created a lot of waste because I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, lots of it was trial and error. So I'm going to put this double-sided tape down right here. If you don't have double-sided tape and you have Fabri-Tac glue, I would not use a glue stick, but I would use Fabri-Tac glue or even, whatchamacallit, art glitter glue. But as a beginner, I didn't have art glitter glue. I went to my local store, which was Walmart, and grabbed Fabri-Tac glue, and it's $9 for a bottle. It could be a little bit more now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this so we don't have waste. Okay? And I'm using my score tape for time's sake, okay? So now, let me cut. Okay, let's try and get this done. If I'm over, I'm over. Or what I'll do is stop this and start recording another video. So it's not super long. Okay. So this is my back piece, just like this. Okay, so I'm gonna, I wish I had my pokey tool. It's frustrating that I don't have my pokey tool, because this is really difficult to try and lift up. I'm trying to remove this tape without removing the tape. I'm trying to remove the strip from the tape. See? Okay, so that's that. And I am now going to line this up. Just trying to straighten that out. Okay. Like, how did I cut this off like this? Okay. Still want to turn that over, and if I need a straighter edge. Okay. Yikes. Trying to line this up, make sure that it's straight. We get this on straight. Okay. Okay. So this is, I want this flap right here. I want this thing, that the repair that we did, we're lengthening it to be in the center. So mind me for a minute. Just watch me how I would do this, because we need, here's our center, right? We want a total of, what did we say it was? 7 3/4, right? 7 3/4 is what we want. So I'm going to line this up. I'm using my dots right here. This is going to be 1 inch right here in the center. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and a half, 3 and a half. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 and a half is 7. So I need to divide 3/4. My ruler. Here's 3/4. Right where my index finger is, that's 3/4. So I need to add another 1/4 to each side. Here's 3/4, so I need to add, there we go. 1, 2, so that's 1, 2, 3/8. I know this is confusing, but my anal thing is kicking in, and I need to have this perfect, because I want this pretty close to perfect, because I want that to be the center. Okay, so I know that I have 1, 2, 3 and a half here from this center line. 1, 2, 3, and that's 3 and a half, right? But we need 7 3/4. So now I need to add 2/8 of an inch. No, 1/8 of an inch here. And then let's see if I'm going to be spot on, okay? And I need to add, oops, I didn't get that right. It's going to be right there. Let's see if I'm going to get this right. Moment of truth, people. If my craziness works. So from this dot and this dot, I should have 7 3/4. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and No, how am I? Oh, God. Okay, hang on. I'm going to pause because I didn't get it right. Let me see if I could figure this out. Okay, all you math whizzes, be patient with me. So from my center line here, this center, I'm using this as a center line right here. So from there, I needed 3 and 7/8 of an inch. So 3 and 7/8 of an inch, and then 3 and 7/8 of an inch. Okay, this one's kind of deceiving there. So from this center line to the left here is 3 and 7/8. This is 3 and 7/8. Okay. So now because I'm pretending that I do not have a mat, I'm having to use my ruler for this. 3 and 7/8. Because we're using up our scrappy bits, okay? 3 and 7/8. It's not scrappy bits. We're going to try and use up most of the file folder to create this, to create our flap, okay? So let's cut this out. Let's line up this, and we're going to cut it out with our scissors. Ay, ay, ay. We'll get her done. We'll get her done. Like this. Line up those lines so we can cut it out. Where's that dot? Okay, right there. Right there. Let's cut it out. This file folder is pretty thick, so we can use it for creating like belly bands, right, for this project. Okay. Now, let's get this out of the way. Okay. So when I created this flap right here, okay, I measured this flap out upside down 7 inches, okay? So that's what we need to do now. This is going to be our flap, okay? So now we want 7 inches, okay? So this is what we did. Here's our center line, and we cut the edges off. Turn it, and let's get 7 inches in here. Pencil. Now we're doing this all by pencil and ruler, okay? Because we don't own, remember, we don't own rotary cutters. For the beginners, we don't have it. So let's just go to 7-inch mark, line it up. Let's cut that off. You don't have rotary cutters. Okay. Now I'm going to clean this edge up because it looks a little wonky. So I'm just going to clean that up, make it look neater. Okay. That's much better. Okay. Now, to create this, turn it over, and I have this at about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so we're going to create that fold now. Ah. Three-quarters of an inch. That's 1, 2, 3 right here. Come down. One, 2, 3, right there, that dot. Wait, no, what am I? Sorry, guys. Okay, I need 3/4 of an inch, so I need to line that up. I need to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm starting at my 1 and I'm counting off. That's 1, 2, and 3 right here. That's 3/4 of an inch. Okay, that's 3/4 of an inch. That's 3/4 of an inch. Right there, lining it up against that 1. 3/4 of an inch. Like that. And then you know what we did, for the sake of time, I'm going to use this bone folder, okay? Because just for the sake of time, okay? There. And then we're going to fold it, okay? Let's get that lined up really good. Okay. Let's fold up our flap. Okay. So now that should be correct. Let's get our file folder. Let's turn this over. Okay. That should be correct. Yep, that's our file folder. Are we correct, or are we off like by little hairs? No, we're not. Okay, now, this was our flap, right? Let me zoom out so you can see this. Here's our flap. This is our flap, okay? Now on top of this flap, see, we have this flap going on. Did I zoom out? Nope. Okay. Let's close this up. So here we've got our jacket, okay? Let's see if you can see that. So we have this flap right here, which is going to be this piece, okay? We have this flap that opens here, and now we're going to lay this down, okay? So we have this, okay, that, and then here's our flap, okay, and here's our flap right here, okay? So now we're going to create this, put this on, okay, and we're going to attach that we're going to attach that. Oop, let me get this out of the way. Tiny desk. Just, well, it's not really small. If I organize it, I'd have plenty of room. And I guess I'm speaking for a lot of us. Okay, so now we want to put this on. Okay. That's going to be our little folding thing. Okay, so let's get that bag that we made. We'll attach this. We'll attach this flap. So here's our journal. Okay, here's our journal. We've got our journal. We open up this part, right? And our pockets are right here. But we want to be able to put this in here. Like so. So that when this closes, we have this huge, we have this gusset here. Let me fold this up. Let me bend it, make it bendy. I use a dowel just to roll it. Roll the gusset. Okay. So we have this down here. Like so. Like this. For expansion. Because we're going to have quite a bit of pockets. Okay. Here's the pockets that we cut out. We're going to be adding these pockets right here. And the reason why we're doing that is because these pockets are going to be where we keep little things that we need, like tape and ephemera, okay? And that way, when this is here, it has room for the pockets to get fat. You see that? How that is? You want these, you want to be able to have these gussets expand as much as it can as you fill up these pockets, okay? And so that's what this now looks like, but out of file folder, okay? So this is this here. Here are the pockets that I made for this one. Okay. And this will open up. And then this will open up. And then let me get my other little pages in here. So now we have made this. Oops. Here's my little gusset. Because I don't have everything taped down. Yikes. But it will. This out of file folder is this now, okay? And we used one file folder. Alright? That's that. Okay, here's my the gussets that or the score lines that I made to make this gusset, okay, for file expansion. So this can be expanded too right here when we fill it, okay? So now we'll go ahead and tape this together, okay? And then we will then on the next video start decorating and putting things together, okay? So let's just complete this. I'm going to take it, I guess it's going to be an hour and a half long. Okay, so if our flap is here, okay, I'm going to take the inside of this right here and put sequin, my double-sided tape, and that is because, actually, let's use some Fabri-Tac glue on this one. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on out. Let's use some Fabri-Tac. I haven't used it, and my craft room is pretty chilly, which means that my glue is not frozen, but it's getting more tacky because it's cold. Okay, so we have that. Let's put this. I don't want to screw this one up, so let's just line this up. Let's just line it up and then slide it down like this and just fold that down. There we go. Let's just fold that down. We're using Fabri-Tac glue, my portable glue thingy. It's a little cold, huh? So yes, for the beginner, Fabri-Tac glue is the best glue to start off with. I would not use a, whatchamacallit, a glue stick on it because it's not going to be strong enough, okay? You can use, whatchamacallit, art glitter glue. It'll hold, okay? Ooh, this is not, let's see, did not line that up. See, what I love about this, you can, the Fabri-Tac glue gives you time, gives you wiggle room. Gives you that wiggle room. With art glitter glue, you don't have it. If you've already, had I used the art glitter glue to stick this down, I would not have had that wiggle room, okay? It would not have worked out. I would not have been able to take this off, the paper off, and readjust it. No, no, no. The paper would have been torn, and I would have to start it all over. Okay, now, you see this line right here? This line right here? That'll be a guideline. You see this right here? This first gusset line? That's what we're going to line it up on. Okay? So let's go ahead and fold that down. If you don't have a bone folder, use anything wooden. A dowel. I'm using a dowel. Okay, to flatten that down. Okay, if you have strong fingers, just crease it really good. So now we're going to put this down. This is our, so that way this won't show, okay? This is not going to show up. So here's an idea. Before you start putting this on, you can already cover your piece, cover it, put a whatever digital kit that you want on it, or whatever your favorite paper or even fabric, and then you can stick this on, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and stick this on because I'll decorate it, or use this as an example for building this journal. Oh, I'm trying to get all this other sticky stuff off. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and glue it. So I'm going to glue this. Yep. This glue. Come on. I should have just laid it on, kept it on its side. Come on. Any day now. Any day now. I just hope this wasn't too confusing for you guys. You know, I just hope that you enjoyed watching this, making this journal cover out of a file folder. I think it would be, for beginners, the least expensive thing to use, to buy at Walmart, okay? Because those other things can be quite expensive to buy. Cardcraft. Well, it's actually a lot cheaper because, as you know, I did tell you that Cardcraft for 50 sheets is, come on, get back in there, $5 for that, and it could be more now, okay? But usually Walmart's pretty good at keeping their prices. So we're going to use that line right here to disguise it. We're going to just put that on there, just like so. Okay, making sure that I've got this lined up good. See, that's what I like about Fabri-Tac glue. It gives you wiggle. It allows you to have that wiggle room, okay? So here we go. We have that flap done, okay? And then this way, we've created the gusset. Let me roll this over. Like that. Okay. That's stuck down. And so let's put this journal back in. Where is it at? Here it is. So here's our journal with our extra pieces right here. This is how thick our journal is going to be, right? Got the flap down. We got this folded over, okay, with our extra pockets. So our extra pockets. So here's our journal. That little thing. See, I don't like those. 131. Yeah, long video, but hopefully you like sticking around with me. I mean, you can always start and stop it and come back, but and replay for anything if I was confusing about, made you confused about something. But here's this, okay? Now, this took extra sheets, okay? Had lots of waste with this one, using this. So I would suggest you taking one file folder, because we created, remember the flap? This is going to be covered, so you wouldn't be able to tell that we pieced it together. Okay, it's all going to be covered. But it came from one file folder, alright? So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using this from here on in, because I hate wasting. I have lots of waste. Not waste, but I'll show you before we head out how much I have cut off. That I have a lot, which it's not waste, because trust me, I'll be making tags for these journals. Okay, I'll be making tags out of this. And then inside here you can get your mailers. Okay, take your mailer, don't throw them out, and you can create a window pocket right here and slide things in. Okay, so it can be like this. You can fold this over like so. You're not wasting anything. You're using the whole mailer. Okay? And then you're folding it over like that. If I can fold this correctly. Apparently I'm having difficulty. Okay, so this could be a flap that opens into a pocket, okay, and it's got a window, okay, and then this, it's closed in like this, okay, this is your journal. So, this is what we have made, okay, check that out. And you have this huge gusset that we made so that your pockets and things like that can expand. Okay, here's a journal, so we'll get to decorating. I'll probably save this as the example, okay, because I like the file folder. Alright guys, well that's my time, and it's 1 hour and 33 minutes into this, and I hope this is okay. I hope that you enjoyed this, but please, materials don't have to be expensive, okay? If you're already buying digital kits, but when I do another video, I'm going to show you what you can buy. $5 for a huge 12 by 12 paper pack of decorative paper at Walmart for $5. There's one, I think, that's double-sided, and I think it's $10. But I'm not sure if they're carrying the double-sided anymore. But you can take a $5 paper pad, and I think it's got, I don't know, 100 sheets in it. 150 sheets. Paper pack for $5. And you can use that to cover your journals. Okay? So, stay tuned. We're going to get to decorating this, okay? So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I was hoping to just keep videos down at half an hour, but you know me. I guess I'm on Islander time. We run very long and late. Long and late. Okay? So anyway, I hope that you guys are healthy, wealthy, and prosperous. And what I mean by wealth, that you're surrounded by your loved ones and everything that you enjoy. Okay, that's your wealth. Prosperity, I hope for prosperity during these times, that you guys prosper in everything that you've set your hands to, in all of your endeavors, okay? So you guys, stay tuned. Lots of things are coming up. Watch for February 28th for Monday mailers. And I will talk to you later. Stay happy crafting. Bye.